Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be pulling cash out of the bank to stuff my cash envelopes. I have already taken the time to write in the categories as well as their amounts over here on my cash breakdown page. You would have seen me write out this budget here on my paycheck budget worksheet in a previous video. If you missed that, I will link it above in a little card so you can check it out. I just kind of walked through my budget and the plan for everything. And if you are a regular here, you watch a lot of my videos, you know that I do a lot of my budgeting in cash. So I pull out cash for my cash envelope section here on my paycheck budget worksheet, as well as for my sinking funds. So what I did was I took all of those categories from both my cash envelopes and my sinking funds and wrote them out here, as well as their amounts, and I got a total. So I know that I need to pull $756 out of the bank to fill all of my envelopes. But now I need to do the breakdown of the denominations so I can figure out what denominations I need from the bank. So we're going to do that together, and we're going to stuff my cash envelopes together. But that's just a little look at how I use my paycheck budget worksheet in conjunction with my cash breakdown worksheet in order to get an overarching view of what my weekly budget looks like. If you're interested in these worksheets, I do have them available in my Etsy shop. I did this fun yellow color for August. There are September printables as well. That's done in a little bit of a different scheme. If you're more into this, you can buy the paycheck budget and the cash breakdown individually, or you can get a whole bundle with all of my other budget worksheets for both August and September. So definitely check out my Etsy shop down below if you're interested in any of that. I don't want to make this like an advertisement for that, but it is available. I get questions a lot about the worksheets that I use. So I have all of my worksheets punched and put into a Happy Planner disc-bound system. That's just how I like to bind my worksheets. You could do them in just like a binder, 3-ring binder. You can do them as just individual worksheets, anything that works for you. So yeah, that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and start breaking down the cash I need to pull out of the bank. So I'm just going to kind of flip this in half and zoom you guys in just a little bit and kind of fix this a little. I had to mess with my tripod setup a little bit. It's not even a tripod, it's like a big arm, and I think I've got it back to how you can see it. So the first category that we need to pull cash for is food. This is for my groceries and any eating out that we do throughout the week. I budgeted a total of $200. For the denominations, I'm going to pull that out in 50s and 20s. So we're going to do 2 50s and 5 20s for that. So I just write in the number of that denomination I want underneath that column. And then at the end, I can just easily go down each column and count and add everything up. So for my husband's spending, he gets $40. We're going to do 2 20s for him. For my spending, I also get $40. And also, oh, see, I put that in the wrong place. 20s, not 50s. So 2 20s for my husband, 2 20s for myself. For Austin, we're going to do a 20 for that. Miscellaneous is going to get a 20 as well. My son Robert is going to get a $50 bill. For camping, we'll also go ahead and do a $50 bill. Car is going to get a 20. Celebrations will get a 10. Christmas is going to get a 50. Clothing is going to get 10. Home will get 20. Medical will get a 20. This is all pretty easy because I tend to keep all of my categories nice round numbers to make it easier on myself. For pets, we'll do a 10. For school, we'll do a 20. Spending will get a 20. Subscriptions will get a 20. And then for my taxes, that's the only one that's a little tricky and not really even. So we're going to do 136. So we'll do one $100 bill. We will do a 20, a 10, a 5, and a 1. That's 100, 20, 30, 35, 36. So that's all the denominations that I need. Now, as I mentioned, I just go down each column and I count everything up. Really easy peasy. So for ones, we just need 1 1, and that is the equivalent of $1. For fives, we only need one of those as well, and that's $5. Tens, we need 1, 2, 3, 4 tens, provided I didn't make any mistakes, which I'm famous for here on my channel, and that's a value of $40. For 20s, we need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 times 20, 360. So 18 20s is $360. Thank you, calculator, because my mental math game is weak. 2, 3, 4, 5 50s. That's a total of $250. And then one $100 bill is a total of $100. So now I'm going to take my calculator and add up the value of bills here and make sure that the total I get for this matches this total here. This is where I always make the most mistakes with the cash breakdown. So hopefully I did well and I caught myself with this little mistake here. So hopefully these totals will match. So $1 plus $5 plus $40 plus $360 plus $250 plus $100 is $756. Woohoo! So that's what I need to go and get from the bank. So I need $756 from the bank in these denominations. I'm going to get that, come back, and then we're going to stuff the cash envelopes together. Okay, so I have the cash that I need. Made myself a little cup of coffee. Took my little thumbnail photo, so that's all set. And now we can stuff my cash envelopes. So in order to stuff my cash envelopes, I need my breakdown, which I have here, as well as the cash, of course. I keep my cash envelopes for my weekly spending, variable expenses here in my Conscious wallet. I'm so sad because the little strap that came with my Conscious wallet broke the other day. So I no longer have that cute little strap. It's such a bummer because a lot of times I would take my wallet just on its own with its little strap on my wrist into the store instead of carrying my big purse and everything in there. So I'm going to have to get a little lanyard or something to put on here so that I can do that again. I was so sad when that broke. But my Conscious wallet here has all of the cash envelopes for the week that I made myself. So this is set and ready for that. Some of these cash envelopes, or some of these cash categories rather, I don't have envelopes for. My husband's, for example, I don't put his spending money in my wallet. That wouldn't really do him a whole lot of good, so that I will just give to him, as well as my son Austin's allowance. For my sinking funds, I keep all of my sinking funds in this little accordion folder. I think I'm going to be changing this up soon. I actually just moved into this folder a couple of months ago, and I've really been enjoying it, but it hasn't quite worked out as well as I thought. I need more categories. I tried to minimize the number of categories, just for the sake of convenience, making everything fit into this cute little accordion folder, and to be able to afford to stuff every single one of my categories every single week. But I'm definitely missing some categories here, neglecting some things because of the way that I've got it set up. So I'm going to have to probably change this, but for now we're sticking with this. All of my sinking funds are in here. And then, where did I put my son's little envelope? I also have a little envelope like this for my older son. I kind of keep track of his cash. He does a cash budget as well. He is 18 years old, working full-time but still living at home, so I help him out with his budget. We're going to be putting some money into his savings from this stack here as well. So I need to locate that. I just had it. It's probably on the floor. But yeah, so I'm all set and ready to be able to stuff my envelopes. So I needed $756 from the bank. Let's just count this up and make sure that that is what I have. 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 70, 90, 410, 430, 450, 470, 490, 510, 530, 550, 570, 590, 610, 630, 650, 670, 690, 710, 720, 730, 740, 750, 755, 756. Whew, that was tough with that extra 50 thrown in there. It messes everything up. But we got through it. I do indeed have the 756. So I'm going to turn off the camera, kind of lay out my cash, get everything set and situated, figure out what I did with my son's little accordion file here, and then I'll come back and we'll stuff the cash envelopes. Okay, so I laid out all my cash, 1s, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, and 100s. I have my cash breakdown here. I did find my son's little accordion file. I had stuck it in my top drawer just to get it out of my way while I was filming something else. So I have that here set and ready. I'm just going to kind of put it off to the side so it can wait in the wings. And then I have my cash envelopes, which are all starting out empty. I did take my little tracker things that I made for myself out because I wasn't using them. So they were just bulking up my wallet. I was constantly forgetting to write in when I was pulling cash out. A lot of times I'm at the store, I don't have time to write everything in. You know, there's a line behind me, so I usually just stick my receipts here in my wallet and kind of figure out my spending at home, so I don't really need these. They're really cute, and I thought they were going to be super functional for me, but I just wasn't finding myself using them, so I took those out in order to lessen the bulk in my planner, or in my wallet rather. So we're going to start out with my food category. For food, I budgeted $200 for the week, and the denominations I decided to take out for those was 50s and 20s. So 2 50s and 5 20s. So we have 1, 2 50s, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 20s. While I was laying all my cash out, by the way, I did count all my denominations and make sure I did have everything I was supposed to have, and I did, so thank you to my bank teller for giving me the proper denominations. Alright, so $200, 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, $200 for the week for our groceries and eating out. I'll slip that right here into my food envelope. All of my envelopes are starting out empty. And I'm just going to use this little highlighter. This is one of the Zebra mild liners in the color yellow. And I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this section so I know that I filled that category. Okay, so that takes care of food. For my husband's spending, like I said, I don't put that in my wallet, so I'm just going to pull this $40 and set it off to the side for him so that when I see him, I can give that to him. And while I'm at it, for Austin's money, his $20 for his allowance, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that and set that off to the side as well. Because again, I don't keep Austin's allowance in my wallet, I just give it to him. So that takes care of my husband's spending, as well as my son's allowance. Going back to my cash envelopes then, I have my spending money, which is $40. Again, 2 20s for that. $20, $40. And that will go into my spending envelope, which is right here. That is my spending money for the week, so that takes care of that. And then the only other category that I'm going to fill here in my wallet is miscellaneous, which just gets a 20. So I'll go ahead and throw that in there as well. I do have a envelope in here for the bank, so anytime throughout the week, if I want to spend in one of my categories here in my wallet, but I can't use cash for whatever reason, I will just swipe the credit card that we use. We have a credit card that we use and pay off every week in order to get the rewards from that, so I will typically just then swipe that credit card or my debit card, just kind of depends on my mood. And then I would put the cash from the cash envelope into the bank envelope, and that way I know that the money in my bank envelope is meant to be deposited back into the bank to cover the transaction on my card. So my Conscious Wallet is all set up for the week. I'm going to put this back into my purse, and we're going to move on to my sinking funds in just a second. Let me go ahead and highlight these so that I know that I filled them. I have really bad short-term memory, so it is not uncommon for me to put a $20 bill into my wallet and then 5 minutes later forget that I put that $20 bill into my wallet. So it's really important that I mark it off as I go so that I don't get confused. Especially early morning when I have not yet had quite enough coffee. So the next category here is my son Robert. As I mentioned, my son's 18 years old, but he does live here at home. He works full-time. He makes pretty decent money considering he's 18 years old, and he has very few responsibilities. Like, his car insurance is pretty much his only bill, with the exception of the little bit of rent that he pays us. Mostly it's just a way to get him used to the idea of having, you know, bills to pay, and also just to kind of keep him from spending every single dime he earns on PlayStation and Cheetos, as I always say. So he does pay us a little bit of rent. I take a portion of that rent and I put it into savings for him. So he paid his rent this week, so I'm going to take $50 and put it into his savings. So his savings is in a little envelope here in his accordion folder. He has his own individual savings that he does with his paycheck, so he has, you know, quite a bit of savings here from his pay. I'm so proud of him for that. So he doesn't spend all his money on PlayStation and Cheetos. But then he also has his little section for his bills, and he does have a cash emergency fund, so I'm proud of him for that. That's all money that he adds to his little accordion folder every week. But then we have this savings for him that we've been saving from his rent. So he did pay his September rent this week. So for September of 2021, we're going to add another $50. So that's the $50 that's on my cash breakdown here. I'm just going to stick this into his envelope for savings for, you know, someday if he wants to move out. This will help him with like a down payment for an apartment or whatever he decides to do. So that is Robert's spending all done. This can go back into my safe now. I do keep a lot of cash on hand, but it's all locked up tight in my safe. So that's that. That's Robert's money taken care of. And now we can move on to my sinking funds. So all the rest of these categories are sinking funds that I keep in cash here in this accordion folder. Each one of my funds has its own little tab, and I just keep the fund as well as a little index card to keep track of when I'm putting money in and taking money out of each account. So right now my camping fund has $852. We're going to add $50 today, just $150. So I'm going to add that here. And I need to add it to my card as well. So today's date, what is today's date? August 27th. I am filming this on Friday. Usually I stuff my cash envelopes on Tuesday or Wednesday, but it's been a busy week getting things set up and situated for back to school coming up, and my son's going to be starting to play soccer, so that's coming up. So it's just been a little bit crazy, but finally filming this today. We are going to deposit 50, and 852 plus 50 is 902. I already added that $50 bill, so now I'm just going to quickly count this, make sure that I do in fact have 902 in here. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 850, 900, 901, 902. So the reason that I do that is just to make sure that I didn't make any mistakes. I, at one point in time, meant to put a $50 bill into my fund and I accidentally grabbed a 20. Counting everything, just make sure that I catch any silly mistakes like that. So camping has been filled. That's all set. Highlight that so that I know that I took care of that one, and then we'll move on to my car sinking fund. I'm trying to slow down and be really deliberate with how I do this, because sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and I'm talking a mile a minute, and it's just, you know, better if we slow down. So for my car sinking fund, we're going to add a $20 bill. The fund is starting out with 620. We're going to deposit 20, and that's going to bring it up to 640. So we'll just grab that 20. 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 500, 50, 600, 620, 640. So that takes care of that. That'll go back behind the card tab here, and we'll go ahead and pull out my next fund, which is celebrations. Mark off car. Alright, so for celebrations, we're going to add a 10. So go ahead and do that. And update my card here. Celebrations has 65. And with the addition of that 10, we'll bring it up to 75. $50, $60, $75 is what I have in there, so we're good to go there. So now we have Christmas. Our celebration sinking fund has all of the other holidays that we celebrate, as well as birthdays and anniversaries kind of taken care of. But Christmas we keep separate, since Christmas is a much bigger kind of event for us and therefore costs us more money. So we're going to add a 50. That was my last 50. And that's going to bring us up to $8.95 in Christmas. Christmas is just around the corner. So if you're not thinking about Christmas yet, you should be. $8.95 I said, right? I already added that 50, so let's just count and make sure. 100, 200, 300, 350, 400, 450, 500, 550, 600, 650, 700, 750, 800, 850, 870, 890, 895. Those 50s were getting stuck together. All right. Okay. Christmas is done. Next, we're going to move on to clothing. And we're just adding $10 to clothing today. And it's only got $10 in there, so that's going to bring it up to 20. These funds have been getting dipped into quite a bit, this clothing fund as well as my son's school fund in preparation for back to school. So lots of money going in and then immediately coming right back out. But that's what it's here for, so that's just fine. So $20 in there. Next up we have my home category, which I just pulled some money out to do some shopping for some household items. We picked up, oh gosh, I don't even remember what we picked up, but it was quite a bit. So we are down to $25 in this fund, but we're going to add another $20 today. And that's going to bring it up to $45. We'll go ahead and add that 20, which does bring it up to $45 there. So we can start saving for more home essentials. And when I mentioned that some things are getting neglected because of the way that I have set up my sinking funds, this is a prime example. When I set up this home fund, this was supposed to include any household items, any home projects, plus our home insurance. And I keep forgetting about home insurance and spending all the money. So obviously I need to have a separate home insurance category, because if that rolls around and I don't have the money for it, how am I going to pay for it? I'm going to try to put it on a credit card, right? And the whole point of sinking funds is to prevent me from doing that. So that's why I say that I need to switch things up with my sinking funds. A lot of you guys who watch my channel warned me that that would probably happen if I tried to put too many eggs in one basket. And I thought, nah, I can handle it. I know what I'm doing. Clearly I was wrong. So we're going to make some changes soon to the system, but for now, that's fine. We're all set. With home, medical has a big old fat goose egg in it, but we're going to add $20 today, so that'll bring it up to $20. We had lots of eye doctor stuff happen, contact lenses for my son and myself, new glasses for my son and myself, so this fund has seen a lot of action as of late, and I totally just forgot what today's date is, the 27th. We're going to deposit $20. Hopefully I'm in frame and you guys can see. I have not been good about checking to make sure that I'm in frame, so I apologize if I have not been. $20 into our medical fund. Next we have pets. Gotta take care of those fur babies. I have 2 cats, Jax and Sirius, and this is for their food and pet litter and vet visits and all that sort of thing. It's got $78 in here currently, and we're going to add 10 more. Which will bring it up to 88. So we'll go ahead and add that 10, 50, 70, 80, 85, 86, 87, 88. So that takes care of pets. Next we have school. Like I mentioned, this fund has been getting a ton of use lately. And I actually just went and did more school shopping, which I did not plan or budget for. So if you missed that haul that I did where I showed the things I picked up that I didn't budget for, if you missed it, I'll put it in a card above. I definitely spent more than the $10 that's in here. So I'm going to have to do a whole video, I think, trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for all the unbudgeted items that I purchased. So be on the lookout for that video. I'm going to have to get creative with my budgeting to figure that out. That's future Jessie's problem though. For now, we're just going to add $20 to this fund. That will help offset a little bit some of that cost. So that'll bring this up to 30. 20, 30. which will likely be coming right back out here shortly when I decide to try to figure that whole thing out. Procrastinating it for sure. So that's school. Next we have spending. This is another resource I might use to cover some of those transactions that were not budgeted for. We're going to add $20 to spending, and right now this fund has 38 in it. So 827 deposit, what did I just say? Oh, 20. That'll bring it up to $58. We have there 20, 40, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58. So that takes care of spending. The next fund we have is subscriptions, which I just drained my subscriptions because I had to pay for Walmart Plus, which was $98. I've really been enjoying Walmart Plus recently, so I think it's going to be well worth it. And then my husband's Audible subscription needed to be paid, and that was another $23. So we're down to just $4 in my subscriptions, but we're going to add 20 more. So that'll bring it up to $24. Big spender here. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's going to take care of our subscriptions. And the last fund we're going to fill today is our taxes. Before I do that though, let me go ahead and highlight spending and subscriptions, just so that I don't think I forgot it. Oh, that was some very sloppy highlighting. So for taxes, this is money that I withhold from the income I bring in from YouTube as well as from Etsy. They don't withhold taxes. You got to do that yourself. So for the amount that I brought in this week, I needed to pull out 30%, which was $136. So that's what we will be depositing today. That should be what I have left here if I didn't make any goofs. So we have 100, 20, 30, 35, 36. So I'm going to pull in my calculator because I don't want to make any silly mistakes. So this fund currently has $1,015 in it, and I'm going to deposit $136, which will bring it up to $1,151. I actually probably could have done that mental math on my own, but that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and slip these denominations in here where they go. Oops. Make sure everything's kind of pointing in the right direction because I feel like everything's a little wonky here. Alright, let's count this then and make sure that I have 1151. And now that my cash is all used up, I can kind of center this a little bit. So, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 950, 1,000, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 51. I feel like I was $100 short there unless I just... let's try it again. 100, 200, 300. Some of these $100 bills are sticking together. 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 50, 100, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 51. Okay, so 1151 is in there. One of those $100 bills must have been stuck. So that's it for taxes. This is going to go back into my accordion file then. and my accordion file will go into my safe for safekeeping. So that takes care of that. I'm just gonna highlight this so that I know I took care of it, and all of my sinking funds and all of my cash envelopes for the week have been stuffed, which is good news. Finally, my husband has been bugging me for the last 2 days to get this filmed so he could take his cash. So, well, not really bugging me. He's been fine. He said he had cash left, but he was going to run out quickly if I did not give him his spending money. So I can finally give that to him, can pay my son his allowance so that he has it for the weekend, and I'm all set up for the week. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. If you did, please do me a favor and click the thumbs up button. That really helps out my channel. It helps YouTube to know that people like this video, and therefore YouTube will share it with other people. YouTube's kind of stingy with who they show my videos to sometimes, so anytime you interact with my video, that helps me out. So like the video, leave a comment, you know, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'd love to have you as a regular here on my channel. You can also check out my Etsy shop for my printables if you'd like, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends!